What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. Okay guys, this is going to be a big one. Now, I know I made a video already regarding stats for Jinwoo. We talked about him, agility, perception, the cap, the ceiling, etc. How it all works. Now we're going to put everything to the test. Okay, so I am level 58 right now. And what I've done is I've gone ahead and pretty much erased everything. And what I mean by that simply is this. I've reduced all of my stats to the base stats. So nothing here is increased. Okay, I have 375 points of stats. What we're going to do today, guys, is going to be very important. We're going to see what actual stat matters the most. All right, and how we're going to test this is simply this. I'm going to unequip all of my weapons. All of my blessing stones have been taken out as well. You guys can see I have no blessing stones on. Actually, you know what? The only one I can probably keep on is this one, because it will give me immortality for a little while in case I die. Skills wise, I can unequip these as well, just so you guys are aware. I'm going to go ahead and unequip. And what we're going to have, guys, is that's right. I don't know if you guys knew you could do this, but you guys can have Jinwoo as basic bitch as possible, okay? And you guys can see here, the only thing I'm getting here is total power increase and obtained stats from the job. I can't go backwards, so that one we're going to keep. But the stats for him are base. No weapons, okay? We're going to go just basic stats. So these are his base stats. So if you take everything off, including artifacts are all removed, his skills are all removed, and his basic is just no stats at all. For 1 minute straight, we're going to see how much damage he does. Okay, now there's no damage meters, unfortunately, so I can't give you the total raw number, but I'm going to record this. I'm going to go back and watch it, and I'll give you the total tally of no stats, damage, in total, okay? And then here's the plan. What we're going to do is we're going to take that number, and then we're going to go one stat at a time. Okay, we're going to increase all of strength to max, and we're going to go back in there and try to see how much damage all strength does. Then we're going to go back in and do all agility, then go back in and do all precision until 99%. Obviously, we don't need to max that one out. That one can just stay at 99. And then we'll do precision mixed with agility, precision mixed with strength, or then strength mixed with agility, and see what we get. Now, this is with no artifacts, just to see from a raw data perspective what stat gives you the most damage. And then from there, obviously, you can adjust your artifacts based on that. Now, personally, if you're going to go crit, the toughness artifact and your beast set or your expert set are going to be your best ones, or your destroyer set for ultimate. Okay, those are my two recommendations. If you're going to go with all strength, then obviously the arm set, which increases your attack, again, the destroyer set's fine as well there too. Or you can do toughness even for that if you want to do a mixed bag of strength and agility to do more crit damage with your strength. And then of course, either the berserker or the expert set again is the best set for him. So we'll test all that out. Okay, so here we go. I know it's already 3 minutes in. I just want to give you guys the logic. Now, what we're going to do in terms of testing is we're going to go into this specific fight. Now, this fight here is easy because the beauty of this is there's no elemental advantage. Okay, so you guys see the boss passive just increases attack, but there's no recommended attribute. You have to do these because there's no elemental advantage here whatsoever, so that won't influence the fight in any way. I'm not going to do any shadow step damage breaks or defense breaks. I'm just going to keep it as raw as possible, and all we're doing is basic attacks. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this for roughly about a minute to 30 seconds just to kind of get an idea of what the damage is going to look like from basic attacks. Now, this bear is a little tall, so I'm going to have to point the camera up. So I'm sorry, you guys have to deal with that for a couple minutes. So yeah, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to punch. 3, 4, 8. You guys can see here, a couple crits. I'm going to go really slow here, okay? So you guys can see what kind of damage I'm pulling off. So we'll wait for this to go through. Let him do his attack again. Go back in. 1, 5, 7, 2. So you guys can see some of the core attacks actually do pretty decent damage, okay? He's going to come flying in again. That's fine. It's been about 30 seconds, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to put all of our stats in strength only, okay? And see how much difference it does make in terms of damage. So we'll go ahead and put every single piece of this into strength and see what the difference is, okay? So there we go. We got 1807. If we look back here now, Sun Jinwoo's basics. Go back here. Check his overall stats. So we go basic. His attack power now is 3,687, right? And again, that should be exactly the same. Precision is 61%. Crit rate is 6.44. Crit damage is 52%. So all these things are going to matter, right? The main thing, though, is, of course, his attack is 3,687. So we're going to go back in. I think the original was 1,800. So this was like an increase of, what do we say? This is an increase of 1,920. So whatever it was. So let's see. Let's do a little calculation here, okay? So this increased his attack from... so 3687 minus 1920. So his base attack was 1767. Now it's 19 with the 1920. We're at 3687. Now let's see for 30 seconds what the damage difference looks like with just strength. Okay, so this now obviously increases his CP quite a bit. I'm at 33k now. Before I was like almost at nothing. Rate full strength and see how much of a difference it is in damage. And then we're going to go to agility next, and then we're going to do a mixture of precision with agility and with strength. Okay, we're going to do both. Let's go in here. So right away you can tell pretty significant damage increase actually. So let's let him do his moves. Drop. Yeah, it's a pretty big difference already, you can tell. So again, I'll record this for 30 seconds. I'll put all the numbers in. What I'm doing is all agility now. You guys are aware agility is going to be based off of crit damage. So we're going to see the multiplier for crit damage and how much agility makes a difference. Now, obviously, agility does cap at 50%. So it is going to be a little bit of luck based combat here, but at the same time, at least we know that crit damage does increase with the agility increase, so we will see how much of a difference it makes when you go full agility versus full strength. Okay, now I know I'm wasting a lot of gold, but I've got a lot of gold for a reason. This is why I made a pay to win account, is to do testing on your behalf so you guys understand what the best strategies are in this game. So let's go ahead and jump all of this into 137. Now you guys can see here it's an increase of 2,223. So just real quick before I do that, actually my current crit is at 6.44% and my crit hit damage is 52%. Okay, you guys can see the difference all of a sudden when I do max it out to see where we go with that number. So let's go into this, max it out fully, and go confirm. Okay, there you guys go. Now you guys can see attack stays the same, right? But now all of a sudden my crit goes up to 36% and my crit hit damage increases to 112.94. So let's just see how much of a difference this is going to make. Now ideally what you want is you want to have crit cap, and the way you do that is through your artifacts, okay, and through passives, etc. Right? Crit cap will be at 50%. You'll know there's a yellow if you saw the last video. That's how you're going to reach that. You're never going to be able to reach that with stats, maybe not even at level 75, to be honest with you. And the crit hit damage, of course, will continue to increase with the agility. So let's go ahead and jump in here and try this battle out for 30 seconds and see if we can do another recording here with just agility as the main stat. Now again, there are variables, me dodging, being hit, etc. But we're going to take, this is going to be a somewhat close number for you guys to kind of work with, okay? Okay, let's try this again. Let's go in. So no crits again. Fine if I get hit, it's not a big deal. There's a crit there. Okay, so far nothing good. So this is why early on when I kept saying this, that strength is better with precision than agility than precision. Well, you guys are seeing a prime example of this at 33%, not really critting much at all. Okay. All right, guys, back here again. So let's do the next part. Now it's going to be precision. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do precision. Same battle here. I'm going to go ahead and decrease his precision, or sorry, increase the precision, take everything else away. And we're going to try to max it out here and see how much damage of a difference precision makes and what exactly the stat does. So we're going to reset this. You guys saw the badge showing of agility without artifacts and without being maxed out crit. Obviously it's going to do a lot less, so we're going to try it later on with artifacts and see how it works. But here we go, we're going to put full precision in. This puts it at 18820. okay, the power increase was very insignificant. Again, everything else remained the same. Crit rate, crit damage stayed the same. Precision though was maxed out now at 99%. This was a little overkill. I'm just trying to test it at 99%. That's the main thing. And then of course attack is at 1880, so nothing there has changed. Let's give me a sec here. All right, let's go in and let's test this out, okay? So again, 30 seconds. We're gonna just test out the damage and see what we can do here. All right, let's see what an impact precision can make. Let's see if it does make any form of impact, okay? There you go, he's gonna go all the way to the end. We're gonna follow him. Remember, I'm gonna be pausing after and putting those numbers together for you. So what I'm doing essentially is I'm pausing it, editing it, recording it, and then giving you guys a total tally and comparing all the different stats together, all right? So for 30 seconds straight, that is the goal. It's there. Let's do a couple more hits here. There we go. Okay, so there we go. I'll record that and I'll come back to you guys in a second. All right, guys, we're back here again. So first things first. After doing the test with strength, agility, and precision, we've learned that strength clearly has the biggest impact in the game early on and just with base stats. Attack obviously has the biggest multiplier, is the biggest impact for damage and DPS. That's clear. We've seen the numbers now. We understand that now. Let's throw some things into the mix. Okay, I'm going to keep the skills off still. We're going to keep the Blessing Stone as is. We're going to do agility and precision this time together. Okay, so the two of them. I actually did equip some artifacts, just so you guys are aware. There's the artifacts there. So Destroyer set, which doesn't affect attack or crit in any way. All it does affect is the power gauge. And then of course we have our the Executioner set, which of course will again not impact DPS unless the enemy's HP drops below a certain percentage, which in this case it never will, because we're only doing 30 seconds of testing. Okay, now the reason why this is important, of course, is I've also added in a couple stats. Now we're going to keep these sets the exact same for every single playthrough, just so you guys can see the same formula used for the artifact sets. Okay, now going back to basics, if we look at the stats now, the stats work a little differently, right? So right now we have 45.76% crit, 163% crit damage, and then we have precision at 85.82, which is usually the standard, 85 to about 99. That's what you're looking for. And then attack is at 4,689. Okay, so again, no weapons. We're just going to go right back in here. We're going to test it out, and then keep in mind, with crit build, the biggest factor is going to be two things. Number one, your crit rate and your crit damage, of course, and then it's going to be the actual multipliers on your weapons. So quick examples of multipliers on weapons is, for example, the plum sword, right? Whenever you do the increase, look at right here, like the plum flower increases critical hit damage by 12%, stacking up to 3 times, and this is infinite. If you look at the full bloom, it also increases the usage speed of plum flower. Right here, the user's crit hit is increased. So crit builds are going to be revolved around crit weapons. That's where they're going to shine the most. Even with the Scythe, right? You can see here, right, that the Scythe also increases the user's critical hit rate by 25% with Edge of Darkness, right? So it's one of those things where when you hit that threshold of 70%, this becomes a crit weapon. So crit weapons in general are going to be better for crit builds. That's normally how they work. But we're going to, again, look at this as a whole without any other implications, just for stats. Okay, so let's go back in here. So we're into the bear again. You guys can see I've now got 56,000 CP, and we're going to do the quick testing again. Okay, and after this we're going to do precision, and we're going to do strength, and then we're going to do strength and agility, and that'll be the end of it for stats. And we're going to see which one works best without any, like, in terms of not having to use any specific weapons. Okay, and then from there you can build around that. Now I could also, of course, have done a different test as well too with weapons, but for now we're just going to focus on this. And again, 30 seconds, okay guys? That's all I'm going to focus on. You guys can see right away, I'm not getting very many crits at all. So not at all. There's a couple right there. But nothing major happening for crits, which is not good, obviously. Like there's a couple right there. And right there. We'll stop right here, okay? So I'll add one more hit. There we go, okay? So that is it right there. And now you guys saw 45% crits weren't happening very often with basic attacks. Okay, again, it's going to differ when you add more passives, when you add more additives of multipliers for crit rate and all that stuff. It's going to make a huge difference. For example, if I had the Scythe, it would have been 32% more crit rate. On top of that, would have hit me close to 75%. You would have seen way more damage. Okay, so with that being said, actually, as a matter of fact, let's try that out. We'll try it with the Scythe alone, and let's see the difference. Okay, we'll see non-weapon additive, and then we'll see one with a weapon. So let's go ahead and make this a little more interesting, and then we'll do the same thing with strength. We'll add in a weapon that is strength related, and then we'll add in a weapon that is with no weapons, and see exactly the difference, whether precision and strength make a difference versus precision and crit. Okay, so here we go, and this time we're going to add a weapon here. So we're going to add the Scythe. Okay, we're just going to use this as a weapon option now. Here we go, and now you guys can see here, it's not going to show in the stats, of course, because it's the 32% is only when I have 70% HP or less. But you will see here, that's 45% plus the 30 some odd, right, coming from the weapon. So if I look here again, view details, it's 25%, sorry. So 25% more crit coming out from the weapon. Okay, so let's go ahead in here. Now remember, the one thing to note about this weapon as well is that there's other multipliers here, especially the increased damage by 15%. So this is going to have to be taken into account as well. So we'll use the Scythe for strength as well too, just to keep the numbers looking pretty relatively the same, okay? So we're not messing around too much with the numbers. So let's try this out now with a little bit more crit. Now the plum sword obviously would have been better for crit damage, but if we don't have crit rate, crit damage doesn't matter, right? So this at least gives you a flat crit hit rate at 25%, and that'll increase the amount of damage it does. So we're going to go ahead and get hit at 70%. I actually need to get hit. There we go. Perfect. Now we're at that point, and we can start. Okay. You guys can see already all the crits that are popping up are way more, right? Look at that. It's pretty much crit central at this point. And again, I'm not putting any defense down on the opponent. I'm just doing straight crits, okay? Crit, 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 everywhere crit, okay? So you guys can see right away the multipliers are looking much better, right? So there you go, 30 seconds, okay? I'll put that as the last hit right there. So there you go. That is a test for 30 seconds. Let me go try it without weapons and with the scythe and see exactly where we're at. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back here again. So we're gonna go ahead and remove the scythe here. Let's go ahead and take this out. So unequip. And now we're gonna go 170 perception again, and we're gonna go all strength instead. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and reset. So 170 here, just to keep it the same in terms of perception, and then go ahead and max this out completely in strength. Okay, so we're gonna see here the strength currently sits at 4689, or sorry, attack sits at 4689. This is gonna boost it quite a bit. So here we go. So 5991, and then you should see here the crit is still 34%. Crit rate is still 152, but now we got more attack, obviously, and precision stays at 87.2%, which is fine. Okay, so again, we're going to test it without the weapons. We're going to compare the two non-weapon numbers, and then we're going to go with the scythe and compare that. And then overall, I'll give you guys a summary of my thoughts and what I think is the best method, and hopefully this will help you guys understand how stats work and which ones work best for your account. Okay, so let's go back in here. Let's jump in, and let's go ahead and try this out. And again, we're going to be doing this for strength and precision without weapons. Okay, guys? So 30 seconds of straight basic attack DPS. Again, I go frame by frame afterwards, guys, and I record the numbers. And you can see there, the number of crits are pretty similar, actually. I'm not getting any crits at all, almost. There's one. So it's actually going to be pretty good comparison to numbers, which is good. That's actually what we want. Okay, I'll throw in a few more. Okay, so there you guys go. 30 seconds of that. Now let's go to, I'll record the numbers and I'll be right back, and then we're going to use the scythe and compare there, okay? Alright guys, we're back here again. So this is the last test for the video, and then I'm going to give you guys my total overall thoughts on everything, okay? And the numbers are not going to lie, obviously. The numbers are there. I have recorded everything. I go frame by frame, and I've recorded all this. So this is going to be the strength with the precision stat. And then, you know what I might do? Actually, I might even take away precision and just use strictly strength and agility. So this might not be last. Let's do one more after this, okay? Just to make sure. We'll just do it with the scythe. We won't do it for basic attacks. So here you guys can see everything in strength, everything in precision. Number-wise, we're looking at 8,830 attack, and then 98% precision because the scythe obviously brings it up because of how much I get. 34% crit, but also we get 25% from the scythe at 70%. So we're going to lose some health purposely to get to below 70% health. So consider this 34 plus 25, so that's going to put you at 59. So let's say 60% crit, and then 152% crit damage. Okay, so let's give this a go and see what number looks better between agility and strength and precision. Okay, so here we go. Again, I got to drop myself down below 70% HP, so I'll be taking a hit first time, and then from there we'll do recording. Remember, there is going to be some variables in here as well, but let's give ourselves a margin of error of 15% maybe or so from each total, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so let's let him hit me there. There we go. Perfect. Now start. Remember, I'm just doing regular skills. No skill from the scythe itself. Just regular attacks, okay? Again, I'll be taking frame by frame for 30 seconds. And I'll give you guys a total tally, okay? Let's go a little bit more here. Just give it a couple seconds. Okay, there. I'll count that, okay? So there you guys go. We'll stop there. Let me exit out, and then we're going to go see what those numbers look like. I'll be right back. Alright guys, back here again. So it looks like strength is in fact winning the battle for stats. It is looking like the better stat overall. You guys are seeing the numbers and they're all coming in. Numbers don't lie. And again, give myself 15% margin of error. Even with that percentage, it's pretty big margins for damage overall within the 30-second span. Now, we're going to do one more thing. We're going to take away all of precision, and we're just going to go strictly agility and strength. Now, agility I'm going to push to, let's just put us to 150. Okay, we'll go 150 there, and then here, let me just reduce this for a second. What does 150 give us if I look at right now my stats? 42.97%. Okay, you know what? Let's just leave it at 42.9, and then we get the 25% from the scythe, right? And that's going to put us at about 67%, okay? Let's now, actually, you know what? Let's push it a little bit more. Let's go to 200 here for total, and that will give us what? That'll give us 44.73. So if I can get an even 45, What is this? 45. Let's go another 10 maybe. I know I could have done the plus, but it is what it is. 45. Okay, there you go. So that puts us at 70% crit rate. Okay, 70% crit rate with a scythe, and now we're gonna put the rest in strength. Okay, so now this is gonna be, we're gonna see if precision versus strength or agility versus strength makes a bigger difference. So let's see how much. Now keep in mind, my scythe is in fact A5, right? So I am gonna get a lot of precision from that. So my precision is still gonna sit at 73%. So this is, keep that in the back of your mind. Okay, it's still at 73%. All right, guys, here we go. So remember, this is strength and agility. We're going to see what the difference is with no precision in there, with 70, let's say 73%. So we're going to take a hit as usual, lower ourselves to 70%, and then again, I'll be doing frame by frame every time to cover this, okay? So let's go. We'll see if this works better than having any 73 precision only, okay? I got to make sure the numbers are visible. Again, I'll be doing frame by frame on this, okay, guys? Just keep that in mind. That's fine. We're almost there. There we go. I'll count that last hit. Okay, there we go. So let me get those numbers down, and we'll take a look and see where we're at. And I'll give you guys a total summary after this is all done, okay? All right, guys, we're back here again. So we've done all the testing. So we've done the 30-second test for only agility, only strength, only precision, agility and precision, precision and strength, strength and agility. Overall, it has come out pretty straightforward that the numbers are always higher when you go more in strength. So, and that is obviously going to be based on the weapon that you use. So again, there are going to be variables, there's going to be different factors, right? A big factor, of course, is going to be the set that you use. So, for example, if you are planning to use a toughness set on Jinwoo with a crit build, you're obviously going to get more crit probably out of it because it gives you 32% more crit. But that also means if you just put it in strength and forget about crit in general, even with that set, you should get higher numbers no matter what you do. So, overall, guys, based from the first video that I made about stats versus now, it looks like strength is in fact the bigger factor of the two things. So strength versus agility, strength wins almost in every single testing run. So for those who were building like me with agility and precision, we were doing fine. I've been doing fine, but it looks like strength is in fact the better of the two stats. So I'm going to try to go strength instead and see how much more DPS I can run in total. So I hope this test kind of opened your guys' eyes. I am level 58. I did want to make this test not only for myself from a learning perspective, because I did do testing earlier on in the game and agility worked better for me at that point, but now it looks like strength from early game to late game is still the most prominent stat for Jinwoo. So with that being said, guys, this is kind of what we ended up with. 73% precision with the last numbers, 45.15% crit, and then include the 25% from the scythe when you go below 70%. That's just the A1, I believe. And then 163% crit hit damage, and strength always came out on top with higher numbers. Now remember, there is a variable percentage of 15%, but it looks like overall strength is in fact the better of the two stats. Now, with that being said, if that is the case, your artifact set, most likely the best one is going to be your armed set. Your armed set is probably going to give you guys the most amount of bang for your buck with the same similar stats. And then, of course, I have the executioner set, which I didn't want activated. But in this case, I think the B set will still be the best set for him. And that's the expert set going forward. All right, guys, this is Payne. This was quite a long video. I appreciate you guys watching it. I hope it was mind-opening, and I think it helped you guys learn a bit. If I did something wrong that you guys noticed, let me know in the comment section. But I'm hoping that this was a good learning session for everybody, and this kind of hopefully puts it to bed regarding strength versus agility versus precision. It looks like overall strength is the clear winner. All right, guys, Payne, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.